Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Russell Gillis, and I know that I've been gone when I said I wasn't going to be gone. I started a new job this week, and the first few days have been just kind of busy trying to get adjusted to things, but I'm back now. Um, Gonna have a video today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then hopefully all next week too. Um, I also want to start this off by saying next Friday, if you're watching this, I am going to be interviewing the legendary Donald Farmer, and I am beyond excited. If you follow my Instagram, you know how excited I am. I also got a screener of his new film coming out next year, so I'm going to be reviewing that on the channel, so I'm very excited. But today, reviewing the film that I've been advertising on Instagram for like 3 days now, LA AIDS Jabber, the 1994 shot on video classic by Drew Gadaris. Um, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. It's about a young man, who gets diagnosed with AIDS by his doctor, loses his mind, and decides that the best idea is to take his AIDS infected blood in a syringe and inject people who he thinks wronged him or deserve it. It's a slasher movie with AIDS. Yeah, this movie is not politically correct. Um, but the thing is, um, this film really feels like a crime thriller almost, rather than a horror movie. And despite being shot on video, and it has its limitations obviously there, and it does have the unintentionally funny content that comes with a lot of shot on video stuff. This one actually is not that bad. Actually, um, it's not perfect. It's not like well, it's not the most well-made movie ever. But for the low budget and the story that it's telling, it could have been a lot worse. Um, there is a thing that sort of surprised me about this as well, plot wise, is that there are a lot of like almost police procedural parts that are not so bad they're good or funny. They're actually just kind of interesting, or at least like they keep your attention, and they're decently well done. But in my eyes, they kind of serve as like a time capsule of the 90s because like all the technology they use is very prominent, but it's real technology from the 90s, so it's like these ancient computers. Um, Not ancient. I don't want to make myself seem like I'm too young. Uh, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to see like this police procedural done during that time with no like futuristic technology or anything like that. Um, the main lead of the film, the titular AIDS jabber, um, is I believe the brother of the director. That would be Justin Godaris. And he actually doesn't do that bad of a job. He definitely hams it up sometimes, and there are some instantly quotable films or quotable lines like "Watch out, I may give you my AIDS." Stuff like that definitely will make you chuckle if you're like me and have a bad sense of humor. It's just so over the top and it's silly, but for the most part, he actually does a pretty good job, and he's actually pretty like decent in his role. Um, he's not necessarily scary, but like his like anger and like sort of craziness like makes sense, I guess, by the way that he's acting. Um, in the parts where he's not jabbing people with AIDS, but like he is definitely more ominous than I expected. I'll say that. But yeah, it does a good job. Most of the writing is honestly not that terrible either. I know I'm saying like these things like I'm almost like applauding mediocre writing and everything, but for a film called L.A. AIDS Jabber, you have to give credit where credit is due. um, yeah, I think the acting across the board is honestly not that bad, um, for what I was expecting at least. This is not the worst shot on video movie ever made. Yes, it's silly and it has stupid lines and stuff like that, but this is much better than a lot of shot-on-video stuff. This is not the typical shot-on-video content that I would normally watch, actually. I actually went into this hoping that it was going to be, god-awful, like LA AIDS Jabber. It sounds insane. You get a decent, low-budget crime thriller with enough, like, parts that are so bad they're good that it makes it a little bit more, like, it lightens the tone a little bit because of that. And honestly, I think that mixed with the parts that are, like, more well done and serious, um, really does make the film very watchable. Um, I certainly enjoyed it, actually. It's not a bad movie at all. It's on Tubi TV for free. Visual Vengeance just did a Blu-ray release of it. Um, the same transfer as the one that's on Tubi TV, and it looks great. So, shout out to them. Visual Vengeance has been great with the Necrophiles and this, and a lot of cool stuff coming out. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. I'm gonna also be doing a review of that soon. Um, was sort of dancing between reviewing that today or tomorrow. So tomorrow looks like the day. Things that I didn't like about LA AIDS Jabber, I think that it's slightly off in its pacing some of the time. Um, it seems like there's burst of action a lot of the time, and then they get these like slower segments. And I know I praise the police procedural stuff, but sometimes they do just go on for too long. Um, Nothing wrong with the concept or the scenes there, but the length needs to be cut, in my opinion. Yeah. I think the acting kind of varies. I said across the board it's pretty good, which is true, but our lead, Justin Godaris, does the best job out of everybody else kind of like takes second fiddle to that. So while they're, you know, decent actors, nobody really is like a scene stealer, and I kind of wish they had more character development in some cases. But yeah, that was a good one. You should check it out if you haven't. It's on Tubi TV for free, so you have nothing to lose there. Visual Vengeance, I'm planning on picking up the Blu-ray myself soon. This is definitely one I want to revisit in the future, actually. So recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the bizarrely titled LA AIDS Jabber. Signing off for today. Zero thoughts, zero editing, zero brain cells, and zero planning. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.